What's going on? Here's the bling. What's going on? Another week coming at you. Stylist from the back room. Good morning, John, my friend.
Good morning, Eddie. Good morning. Here's the bling. How's everybody doing today? We've got a great action-packed hour for you. We're gonna be getting into one of Eddie's favorite subjects.
My favorite subjects.
Yeah, hair extensions. Who loves hair extensions more than you?
I don't know, man. I do love me some hair extensions.
I mean, word on the street is you knocked out a full head in 2 hours yesterday. Is that true?
That was last night. No, that was yesterday at the salon.
Yeah.
It always feels so. I tell you what, though, I've been I've been kind of coming up with a new way of putting in the bond, so it's been going a little bit quicker. But last night it was the first time. It was the first time the client was coming in to actually get the service. I've done a couple of consultations with her, so I was kind of taking my time. And at about I just felt it after the first hour. Right. I'm like, man, this is dragging. I'm only halfway up. I still had the sides and the crown to put in. I'm like, man, this is just dragging, And then she started asking questions. I'm like, I'm gonna have to start answering a lot of questions. This is just gonna drag even more. In the back of my mind, I'm like, all right, I need to move a little bit faster. Right? So between having to stop and talk to her and go over everything, and then in my mind, I'm like, no, I got to move. I got to haul it,
Right.
Yeah. 2 hours.
That's awesome. See,
and then here's her. She goes, man, this usually takes 4.5 hours. I'm like, yeah. No, here's me. I'm going, feel bad. Thanks for hanging in there. Your butt must have gone numb by now. I know this took a little longer than it would normally would. And she's like, what are you talking about? This normally takes 4.5 to 5 hours. I'm like, and here's me. I'm like, yeah, nah, don't get used to this. We're not going to be sitting here this long. I'm not spending this much time to do a full head with you.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So it's all perspective. And at the end of the day, like I always say, it's the experience.
Right.
Doesn't matter how long or how short of a time you spend with somebody. As long as they feel like they got that experience, it's the only thing that matters.
Yeah, see, that's what it's all about. That's fantastic. That's awesome.
Except tell that to my back afterwards. I was hurting a little bit.
Yeah, when I talked to you, you sounded a little left of center. So that was that's awesome though. That's great. So you ready to get into this?
Let's do this. All right. What do you got for news with us this week?
I got some cool news. We talked about last week. We've been getting a little what's the word I'm looking for?
Well, you were nerding out on the numbers, man.
Yeah, number heavy. Thank you. Number heavy. So
I love the mob wife look that you were telling me about last week. That I am super excited about that.
It's coming more and more.
So then we'll see. We'll see what you got for us this week.
Well, I got some fun stuff this week, and it's gonna. We're going to get into our heads a little bit here, okay? First things first is, according to Modern Salon, 2024 is a year of taking care of our clients' hair needs. Now, that's a different animal than what our clients want, but it's actually looking at our clients' hair and taking care of what that hair needs to have that healthy, lustrous, fantastic hair, right?
How is that different than what we normally do?
What they said is that this is going to be a treatment heavy year, which means bond builders, scalp treatments. Now there's something that's kind of gone by the wayside a little bit. At least I've noticed it in my end of the world. Scalp treatments have kind of gone by the wayside. Everybody's worried about, just repairing their hair, but where you gotta tend the soil to have a healthy plant, right?
Okay.
So scalp treatments, bond builders, and true in-salon treatments are going to be at the forefront of our industry this year, which kind of gets me excited because I tend to be a little treatment heavy anyway, and that's not a bad thing. But it's what they're really talking about is when you do your consultation with your client, is finding out what that hair needs to be able to take that hair to the next level. Does that make sense to you?
Okay. Okay.
You know,
I guess I get look, that's great news. It's something that we preach constantly all the time on a regular basis anyways. So to me that was like I don't understand, but I do get it because I see that in classes all the time. A lot of stylists when we start talking about treatments, when we start talking about appraising what the client's hair is actually asking for rather than just doing what the client. This is what you and I always say all the time. Stop being a copy machine. Just because the client comes in with a picture and shows you something and be like, oh, I could do that. And then you just go do it. And then if it don't look right, you're like, well, that's what you asked for. There's a story in there that the hair is trying to tell you.
right. 100%. 100%.
So you gotta listen to that story. So yeah, I like that. That's awesome. That's good. I'm
Yeah,
glad that
yeah,
the industry is embracing what the artistry should be.
Right. Right. And it's caring for your client and being honest with them and telling them what's up, hey, I was noticing your scalp, and then we got a couple treatments that we could do to really improve what you've got going on. And I think that
what this feeds into yesterday. I was doing on the Profitable Stylist Academy. We had Jennifer McCowan, who's
trichologist, yeah.
a trichologist, board certified trichologist. She was talking exactly about this.
Yep.
So it's just absolutely amazing. That's awesome. That's awesome that it goes right in line with what's going on.
So are you ready? Because our next news bit,
Okay.
hair accessories are coming back.
Ooh, what kind of accessories?
Okay, we're talking decorative clips. We're talking actually ribbon and bow in the hair again. We're talking about the silk scrunchies. We're talking about hair accessories that say something about the person that's wearing it.
Okay.
From it, and you go all the way back to, like, I still remember my mom used to have this tortoise shell giant claw thing, looked like a weapon, right? Because she had that thick Italian hair. And I used to always think, God, if I punch somebody with this thing, but that's what we're saying is we're, and that's from Vogue magazine, by the way, where this is going to be also a year of hair accessories, which falls right into what we talked about last week, which was that the mob wife color, because right, the big claw clips, the hairpins, the decorative hairpins, things like that. That they're saying that's what we're going to see this year.
I love it. I love it.
I'm all for it. I think hair accessories are awesome. I'm a big fan. I'm a totally big fan.
If hair accessories are going to start trending and becoming a big thing again, that's going to give rise to the boutiques again.
Yes.
Man, I remember when I had my salon and we, when I was first approached by a boutique owner and she said, can I open up shop and, can I have like a little area of the salon and open up shop in? And at first I was like, I don't even understand, like she showed me a little display. To me at the time, I didn't understand it. I thought it just looked like a whole bunch of tchotchke flea markety type things. Took a little survey from the clients. Clients were all over it. They were so excited. So I let the lady come in and open up. And I tell you, that relationship built over 10 years. She was awesome. She did extremely well. The clients loved it. The clients absolutely loved it. So over the years, when I've gone into studios or when I've gone into salons and I've seen they have a little, whether it's a small little display on the counter or whether it's a large area of the salon sectioned off for a boutique, man, that's cool. It is super cool to see that.
Well, what's really cool is there is a salon near me. He's got a great operation. I don't think we can mention his name, but he's very close to me.
Okay.
And he actually started with a small area, and now he has taken over the store that went out of business next door, went through the wall, and has not only a full retail section, but he's also got hair accessories. I mean, anything you can want for your hair. is in this little shop. And from what I understand from the last conversation that he and I had, he's making a killing with it.
Hey, man,
He
good for
really
him.
is. You know, I love the fact, you know, I'm being a half Amazon addict. I love Amazon. I do. There's something fun about, you know, it's like getting Christmas. You know, you get a pack, you know, you get a Christmas present. But the fact that you could get your hair done, walk into that little shop and get stuff for your hair and walk out with it in your paw, I think that's awesome. And years ago they did a study and it was something like 78% of clients purchase something for their hair, whether it be product, you know, accessory, whatever, within 24 hours of getting their hair done.
Wow. Okay.
So,
Okay. Sure.
so why not? Why not tap into that? You know, over Christmas, there's a Glenview business. She makes the silk scrunchies because they're made of mulberry silk. They don't pull the hair or anything like that. And she makes the little ones and she makes the big puffy ones. And so I got like 250 of them from her, and I was giving it as Christmas presents to my clients, and they all went nuts for it. This you know, this simple scrunchie. It was super cool, and we've driven some business to her website. So it's a good thing. I'm all for hair accessories. I'm all for people, you know, saying something about their hair. That just rocks for me, you know.
Another bit of news that we got is at America's Beauty Show, ABS, this year in Rosemont, Illinois. We got our booth assignment now. We are booth 1506, 1506.
1506. If you guys are at America's Beauty Show, stop by. I'll be in the booth. Eddie will be bouncing around. We're there. We're gonna have a stage inside the booth, from what I understand. Am I correct?
We'll have a stage inside the booth. We're also gonna have a classroom. If I'm saying it correctly, a classroom assignment is classroom 5253. And so we're gonna have a static classroom. It's the same. It's gonna be the same room all 3 days: Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So we'll be giving education on hair extensions, on hair color, toning especially. We're going to be doing treatments, smoothing treatments, reparative, reconstructive treatments. What am I forgetting? Oh, we're going to have low density hair cutting. So we'll be doing some hair cutting classes as well too. And there's one other class we're going to be doing. Man, I got so many things. I'm juggling so many things at the same time. I got to remember.
You know what? It's real simple. Go to htbbeauty.com. HairsToBlingBeauty.com.
Go to the classes site. Yeah.
Yeah. Go to the classes site, and that'll cover everything for you. Stop by, say hi. And then definitely stop by the booth because we're going to have some artists doing some stuff at the booth. And we will see you at America's Beauty Show. And just a little caveat with that, according to word on the street, rumor, whatever, America's Beauty Show in Rosemont, Illinois, already is, I got to get this number correct, is they've had a third more purchases of tickets than they did at the same time last year.
Yeah, right? Year over year, it's the attendance is already up 30%. The ticket sold for attendance is already up 30%.
Right. Yeah. So that's awesome. That is awesome. So now our next bit of business, my friend, is we get Eddie's rant. It's what I look forward to every week.
I'm a happy person this week. I got nothing.
You got nothing to complain about.
I got nothing to complain about.
Okay. Any industry observations that you'd like to bring to the forefront?
Not one.
Really? This is shenanigans like I've never heard. I call shenanigans.
You call shenanigans, right? Huh. I've had a great week with the clients.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I've had a really, really great week with the clients. I have a couple of clients who are book. I don't know. Okay, do you have book jumpers? Meaning a client who will schedule a time and then she'll change it to a different time, then she'll change it to a different time, then she'll change it to a different time, you know? And she'll keep changing her appointment left and right, left and right. Now, when they eventually make it into the salon, all they do is complain about your book, about how convoluted your book is. And it's like, well, no, you're the one that changed your appointment 20 times. You're the one that made my book convoluted. It's not that my book was messed up. You messed it up. I used to deal with that. And now I don't deal with that anymore. Especially because I know with technology nowadays, there's online booking, right? Like a lot of stylists, rely on online booking where the client can book their own schedule. And it's convenient and it's nice. The thing about that though, if you have somebody who's constantly has access to that online book and they have free reign to move their own appointments left and right, it can get crazy really quick.
Oh, yeah.
So what I did was I locked it, meaning you can only book the appointment. You can't change the appointment. You can either book the appointment, you can delete the appointment. Now, there's a thing, this gets really complicated. This is for tech support more than I understand how to describe it. Because, okay, fine, if you can't rearrange your book, all you have to do is just delete that appointment and book a brand new appointment. And then there's clients that abuse that part of the technology as well, right? Well, I just put a block on the client and it just stops them from having access to online booking. Because it's by their name, it's by their email. They have an account or whatever ID that they have for the online book, right? So I just cancel their ability to book online. So now they come in and they're like, something's wrong with your book. I'm like, no, nothing's wrong with it. I just blocked you. Well, why would you do that? I go, because you're destroying my book. You're a pain in my butt. So from now on, we will book before you leave. You will decide what day you want. And if you have a problem, you're going to have to call the salon. Well, that's very inconvenient. I go, just as inconvenient as it is for me with you busting up my book left and right. So you're going to get a lot of static. You're going to get a lot of pushback from that. And the client's going to be like, oh my God, I've been coming to you for years. It's like, yeah, that's right. You've been coming to me for years. And you would think after all these years, you would know enough about me by now that I don't put up with BS.
Right.
You have literally heard me fire clients over less than this. You have literally laughed with me or said to me, oh my God, about how clients are treating me. You've now become the person that you used to laugh at. So I constantly am putting this spin around. The problem with that is when a client has been doing something, a behavior for an extended period of time, even as a stylist, when we ourselves have been doing a behavior for such an extended period of time, it doesn't feel wrong anymore. It just feels business as usual.
Right.
It's like when you got a helicopter mom. The kid just going, I was having this conversation with Carmelina this morning. If the kid grows up in that environment, they just don't know any better. They just think that's the normal thing. So they don't know they're doing something right. They don't know they're doing something wrong. The parent don't know if they're being overbearing or overprotecting or not. So that behavior just becomes status quo. And it's not until that gets pushed back or that runs into a wall, a block, where that behavior is unacceptable by whatever other environment they're in, which is, in this example right now, me, all of a sudden I'm the bad guy. I become the villain in this story,
Right.
But I'm not the villain. I'm the main character. It's my freaking book.
Right.
So how do you gracefully do that? Now, our dear friend Sandy from Ohio, she's saying that she'll put a service charge. And that'll stop them from cancellations. So she's taken the doctor approach, doctor office approach. A doctor does not care about you. They are only there to practice medicine and treat your symptoms. Yeah, I'm making fun of doctors right now. There's always, I have this love-hate relationship with the medical industry. They practice medicine. They don't know medicine. They treat symptoms. They can't proactively prevent things from happening. They're kind of, they have like the worst catch-22 situation.
Oh,
Because
100%.
damn, we need them. We need doctors. We need medicine. But it's not. They're like the firefighters. They're just waiting for something to happen, and then they're doing their damnedest to fix the problem. Right.
Right.
Now here's us in the beauty industry. We have our own catch-22. We are firefighters as well. We have to, when something happens to our client's hair, we have to have the solutions to fix it. But simultaneously, we have to have the foresight and the mind, the mind's eye to be proactive to prevent our clients from doing something crazy to their hair. And we have technology and the services to be able to do that as well too. So it's this really fine tightrope. I guess that's my rant this week is the business side of things, is really how do you deal with the clients? Now, for me, in the beginning, now I'm at a point where I can truly do this. In the beginning, I was sitting, I was talking about this with Bernard. I'd be sitting there literally playing cards. I became really good at poker and Go Fish and Rummy and Solitaire. I was just sitting there. I literally was playing cards. Like there was nothing left to clean. I washed the walls. I was washing the ceiling. I was so freaking bored out of my mind. There was nothing left to sanitize. And I was still, half my book or majority of my book was empty. So as soon as a client would walk in the door, I was like a dog with a treat time, just freaking all over the place. I was like a spazzy dog,
Right.
And it's like, oh, do you have time for a haircut? I'm like, yes, right now. Come here, sit down. And the client's like, dude, slow your roll a little bit, So then you got to sit there and play cool about it. You're like flipping through the book. It's empty. It's empty. It's empty. It's empty. Every day is empty. I think I can get you in on Friday.
Right.
Trying to play it off like all cool, like, yeah, I think I can get you in. She's looking around, the place is empty, nobody's doing anything.
Right.
Yeah, we're really busy.
Right.
Now it's gotten to the point where I am busy.
Yeah.
So before you leave, you need to book your next appointment. And they're like, well, I don't know. I don't know what my schedule is going to be like in 6 weeks or in 8 weeks or in whatever. I'm like, look, this is my booking policy. Let me put you down in the book. At least I got you in the book. If something happens, I always give first priority to rearranging people who are already scheduled. The second priority goes to waiting list. Third priority goes to call-ins. The last person who gets a priority is the walk-in person. Now, other people treat that differently. The walk-in person, they try to squeeze them in as soon as they can because they're a brand new client and you will constantly need new business to refill your books. But I promise you, it gets to the point. If you do this correctly, it's a very fine line, tight rope. But if you do this correctly, you will get more referrals than you can handle. You will have an overflow of clientele where you will be able to hire an assistant. Now you can double book yourself. You can even triple book yourself. For the love of God, you can even hire another stylist. You can become like a sub stylist. Like you can become an owner.
Yeah.
You can have an employee. Yeah. Now, it's not for everybody. But I've had a couple of stylists who were renting their own station. They had their own studio. They expanded. They got a double studio, a double space. And then they brought on a second, stylist to help with the rent and to handle some of the overflow.
Right.
And then that grew. Then they got a third. Now they got a salon. Now they got an open concept, salon like what we were used to.
Right.
So even the studio is graduating back into salon environments again.
It is.
It goes around full circle. It's a beautiful thing. So if anything, I think that this week is a positive. It's not a negative rant. I think this week's a positive rant.
100%.
I really am having a great week this week. Nothing upset me this week at all.
Well,
Yeah, that's totally off the cuff. I don't know.
There's still a few hours left in today.
The week is not over yet. Saturday is still, I could still have a Susan tomorrow on Saturday.
Oh God. I agree 100% with you. All my stuff is online. I do have some clients that still call them, because they just can't wrap their heads around the technology, but most of them are online. And I have one client. She's a really nice lady. A stylist friend of mine referred her to me. We won't mention any names, Eddie.
Okay.
And it is 6 appointments before she settles on one appointment. And I get the notifications where it's like, so-and-so has moved to this, has canceled this appointment and made this appointment. And I had a honest conversation with her the last time she was in. And I said, you're kind of goofing my book up with all of these changes. I said, if this was every now and then, I'm good with this, but we kind of got to get you, and plus we have to get you into a set regimen with your hair, every 6 weeks. But you're playing havoc on my book. And then I'm getting people yelling at me that there's no time, I don't have time for them. And then you cancel, and then all of a sudden I have time, and I don't know who's tried to book with me, who's not tried to book with me, things like that. And I said, and we had a real conversation, and you know what? She was really cool about it. She goes, I'm sorry, my life is just mayhem. And she goes, I'm gonna try to be better. And I said, that's all I can ask you to do. I said, it'll make life easier for you, me, and everybody else in between. And she was really cool about it. I think it's the way you approach it. You can't come in with your armband and your jack boots on and go, Jules, will keep your appointment. But
that's the whole thing. We have relationships with our clients.
Right.
So we have to be respectful with that relationship. Booking, I keep referring to the experience.
Yes.
The experience is not just when they're sitting in your chair. It's just every interaction overall over time.
Right.
That's really what that experience is all about. And that's really what we're doing. Right.
And just to touch on what you said earlier about when you were a young stylist, I worked for someone, and she has moved on to the afterlife now. And I know she looks down and shakes her head at a lot I do, because she used to kick me in the shins when I wasn't doing it right. But she used to tell me, anytime that you sit down to read a magazine or do something that isn't going to forward your career or help get you clients, she said, you need to take $10 and put it in a jar. So because you're losing money by just sitting there reading a magazine, playing cards, with all the young stylists that we work with, they're all unless they're watching hair videos, and even then you're losing money. What are you doing to forward your business? And that you just reminded me of that when you said you used to sit there and play cards, you got really good. Because we all did the same thing. I mean, I remember the first salon I worked at, we used to go hide in it was a storefront and the laundry room, and then there was the door outside. We all used to go hide outside, stand around and talk about, and that's the other thing. And your perfect example of this for today is you can't focus on the negative. And there's going to be slow times. And then there's going to be really busy times. And we bitch just as much.
We really do, right? I mean, look, you and I, when we talk to each other 13 times a day, I mean,
right.
There's some weeks you're like, oh man, my book is dead this week. I don't know what to do. What's happening? I think, what did I do wrong? Did I upset everybody in the world? Nobody's coming back again.
Usually.
And then on that same level of energy, we're like, oh my God, did everybody find me this week? Like, what is happening? Why is everybody coming in this week at the same time?
Right. That's why you got to take the good with the bad. 100%.
Take the good with the bad.
100%. So, Mr. Ohanian,
okay,
I have questions for you. Our next subject is she hair extensions. And I don't know where you want to get into this. If you want to do a quick intro to she, or you just want me to start hitting you with questions. And I want to preface all of this with the fact that my knowledge of hair extensions is about this much. You have everything I know about hair extensions is what I've picked up via osmosis from you and Bernard. And I am trained in the on stage extensions, and I technically I'm trained in she from just being over your shoulder for the past 15 years. But give us a brief overview of she hair extensions.
She hair extensions is a keratin bond hair extension system.
Okay.
There's your brief overview.
Thanks.
No, the brand She hair extensions is an Italian brand. They provide multiple types of hair extension systems. The one in particularly that they're most well known for, they're most popular for, is the keratin bonded system. It is absolutely phenomenal. They have over 200 different shades of color options available. And it's a combination of solid colors, highlighted colors, two-tone, rooted, balayage, ombre, and fantasy colors. They've got different lengths, shorter hair, 14, 16 inches, regular hair, 18, 20 inches, and they even have extra long hair, 26 to 28 inches, which in the industry, not a lot of companies have extra long hair. So that's a big thing. Another thing that they regularly inventory is they have texture. So it's not just natural body. They also have wavy and curly texture hair as well too. So they really have a big variety, and they really have a massive selection of hair colors, shades of colors available. So it's very, very cool. The keratin bonds that they deal with is 100% keratin bonds. They do not mix, other material for their buns. And the hair is 100% human hair. They do not mess around with any kind of synthetic or any kind of animal hairs mixed into it. It is 100% human hair. So it's an extremely high quality brand. Everybody says that, but these guys don't mess around. And for the massive selection, I can't just even say large. In my opinion, I think they have the largest selection of hair color shades available. That's why I always say it's freaking massive. I almost want to say it's too many shades because it's kind of like, man, well, what the hell? But every single combination that you could possibly think of, they pretty much have something that's either dead on or close enough to that match of whatever combination of color you're trying to create. It's phenomenal, man. It's
like
wild.
170 shades, isn't it?
No. That was 170 shades was like a year and a half ago or a year ago or something. No, I'm saying it's over I lost count. It's over 200 shades. It's insane because the newest edition with the rooted, the balayage, and the ombre, it's just exploded. The ring, it's so big, it can't fit on one ring. When you order a color ring now, it comes with 2 rings. Like if you order one color ring, they just send it to you in 2 boxes because it's so it just can't fit.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
You would need a hula hoop to fit all the swatches on one.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
It's insane.
Okay, so I've got questions because once again, my knowledge is you could fill a thimble with. So, what is the difference between a K-tip extension and a keratin bond extension?
Half the answer, there is no difference. The other half the answer, marketing BS.
Oh, okay. Explain. Can you get a little deeper into that?
I have to, because you really got to pay attention. You really got to pay attention to what you're buying. A keratin. Okay, so a hair extension is made up of 2 parts: the bond, the part that attaches to the hair, and then the hair extension itself. That bond can be made out of different kinds of material. Now we're talking about keratin bond material right now. That's the highest quality material that you can get. But it could also be made out of plastic. It could also be made out of resin. It could also be made out of a hybrid material, meaning some of it is keratin, some of it is some polymer of something. Okay. So there are different variable levels of the quality of the material of that bond. And that directly is going to affect the cost. I was speaking to that trichologist, Jennifer, yesterday. She gave a great analogy. Anywhere you can buy, so she was talking about, Bernard had asked her about supplements, and I was asking her about supplements and vitamins and, anything like that, right? She said, yeah, you can get vitamins and supplements anywhere. But the quality and the grade of those supplements, where you're going to get it from, that's the part where it matters. If you can get something anywhere where you can buy toilet paper from, the quality and the grade of those is not going to be as good as you can get professionally, sourced, right?
That's awesome.
So
I like that analogy.
I like that analogy a lot. And I'm going to make a shot at Amazon. I purchase from Amazon regularly myself. I'm not going to try to tell a story. Amazon is my go-to. Actually, Amazon and YouTube now are my Google searches. I barely Google anything anymore. I go to YouTube and I see if there's a video for it first before I go to Google search. Or I'll go to Amazon and see if there's a version of it I can buy, if not the exact same thing. And then I make a decision. Do I want to order it and have it shipped? Or do I want to go to a store and go get it, depending on what mood I'm in? If you can order 200 strands of hair off of Amazon for $150, it is crap hair. I don't care if somebody gets mad at me or not for saying that. Okay, that's my opinion. I'll even say that's my professional opinion. I'll even bet money on it that I can prove it to you that that's crap hair. I don't care. Like I said, I don't care who gets mad at me. If you're going to purchase quality hair, it's going to be expensive. Oh, but it says it's keratin bonds. It says it's a K-tip. And what quality of protein is that? Because there are different, qualities of protein, of keratin. How much amino acids is put into there? How much vitamins are put into there? How much everything is put into there? Okay. What density is put into there? And okay, fine, just I'll humor it for the sake of conversation. Oh, here's my rant. Even if it is 100% pure keratin, those bonds are this thick. Okay? They are super thick. How comfortable is that going to be on somebody's head? The answer is not. Right. It's not going to be comfortable. All right? And even if you're able to melt that freaking thing down, holy hell, trying to get it out of the hair afterwards. This is the removal process is going to be holy hell. It's going to suck.
Right.
So
right.
The keratin is a very highly sought after material. Mm-hmm. That is going to equal quality. It really, really is. Okay. Mm-hmm. Because also, depending on how that keratin bond is built, is also going to determine which application technique you have to use to install it. Whether it's a flat wrap, whether it's a rolled, whether it's a micro bond, whether it's a full bond, your placement pattern is going to matter as well too. And then it's also going to determine for what type of hair is that bond going to be available for. Is it going to work on thin, fine hair, or is it going to be too heavy for that? Is it only going to be available for thick hair? Is it going to work with curly hair? Is it going to bend with the wave pattern or the curl pattern, depending on what level of wave they have, So right. All of that comes into play too. There is a lot of things that go into that keratin bond is so important. There's so much technology, so much thought that goes into it. And there's too much afterthought that doesn't go into it, Mm-hmm. And then that is the biggest issue with all of that. Now, with the advent of social media, things are getting a lot more popularized. 20 years ago, there was 4 trends a year. It was seasonal. Now, every week there's a trend. Yeah. And I hate to tell everybody, There is nothing new. It's just recycled. Everything gets recycled. It gets like a modern interpretation, and it gets combined with something else. That is the fun of current trends now, where pretty much anything goes. The creative process is amazing now. It really, really is. Because before, you'd have to come up with something so out there, and then you'd have to milk that for 3 months.
Right.
Whereas now, the creative process is, it doesn't matter what type of hair you have. There is a trend and a look for every type of hair. So I think both times are fun now. The old times were fun, and these new times are fun too. The thing what's difficult with nowadays compared to how things used to be is trying to keep up with all the names. Everything's got a new name. Every week they're renaming something.
Right.
And it's a reinterpretation of something else from the week before, the month before, or whatever. So originally, K-tips meant non-keratin bonds, but they were built looking like a keratin bond.
Okay.
Unfortunately, now the language kind of gets all merged together, and everything is everything, and so there are K-tips that are keratin bonds. It's just I don't know, keratin is such a long word. It's too many syllables. You need abbreviation, everything's got to get abbreviated. So it's too long to say keratin, so I got to say K-tip because that's more hip, or it's more fire to say, whatever. Yeah, right. What's the new way of saying hip? You say it's fire. Oh, K-tips, that's fire. Whatever, man. I don't care what language you speak. It's all the same crap. So a keratin bond, K-tip is the short version. Now, but when it was first came out, it was not that case. And this is where I say half of it is marketing BS. You really got to pay attention to what you're purchasing. Okay?
100%.
When you go get a consultation done, if the stylist is telling you, I charge this much, is it because of their skill set? Is it because of their product? Is it a combination of both? What is that experience is going to be? You got to decide for you. Is it worth it? Do you feel comfortable? Excuse me. There is a price for everybody. And I like seeing right now on YouTube where they'll take a $25 steak and they'll take a $250 steak. And they'll say which meat tastes better. And they'll prepare it the same exact way, right? Doesn't it come down to the hands of the chef preparing it? Doesn't that have like a huge contributing factor? But then when you go for the taste test afterwards, yeah, they can make that $25 steak taste really good. But it can only taste as good as how good the chef was to prepare it. They can take that $250 steak and make that thing melt in your mouth. And you're drooling because it's so freaking delicious because the chef that prepared it was amazing, right? But then there's the flip side of that. A $25 steak overcooked becomes a briquette.
Mm-hmm.
A $250 steak overcooked, you can still chew it. Like it don't taste good, but you could still chew it because the quality is so juicy to begin with. It's still there, okay? So yeah, you could take some cheap hair extension. You could make it look good with your placement pattern, with your blending, with the haircut and the styling and all of that. Yeah, you can make it look good, but how healthy is that going to be for your hair?
Right.
And the problem never presents itself when it's first done. Hair extensions, if a problem comes to pass, that problem always presents itself 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, a month later, because keratin bonded hair extensions can last 3 months, 4 months, 5, 6 months, depending on how well you can maintain it. The client can maintain their hair. So after a month is when if a problem is going to come, that's when it's going to come. And if you had a low quality to begin with, man, is that low quality going to become crap quality after a month?
All right. 100%.
Versus you got to start off with great quality. So over the lifetime cycle of wearing that hair, it eventually will degrade, just as is anything. You had something new and shiny, and then over time, wear and tear, it gets old. So if you have great quality, by the time you fast forward months later, that quality degrades. But because it started off as such a great quality, it's still in a halfway decent quality by the end of its life cycle. So then your natural hair isn't destroyed. It's not messed up. Hair extensions got a bad rap.
Oh, for a long time.
Right?
For a long time.
Oh, you got to take a break in between hair extensions. You have to let your natural hair grow in again so you can reattach hair again. Why is hair extensions ripping your hair out? Why are keratin bonds destroying your hair? That means either you put it in the stylist used the wrong technique for your type of hair, they got the wrong kind of keratin bond for your type of hair, or you are maintaining your hair incorrectly for your type of hair, or you had a very low quality of keratin bond hair extensions, K-tip hair extensions to begin with. And over the course of its cycle, the 3 months, 4 months, 5, 6, however many months you wore it for, as that quality degraded, it just got even worse.
Right.
It turned into that $25 steak that got overcooked. It turned into a charcoal briquette. You cannot chew that freaking thing. You break your teeth,
Yeah.
That's the analogy I give, because I see it trending big time right now. The low quality versus the high quality and people cooking foods. I use steak as an example because that's the main thing that I look up. I like steak, but whatever, your I don't know, GMO broccoli versus your organic broccoli, I guess. We have vegetarians that watch this too. I don't know. Unfortunately, I'm not a vegan or a vegetarian, so I don't have a good analogy. Leave me a comment section. Help me with an analogy so I can respectfully give that analogy as well, please.
Oh my God.
Okay. I'm trying. I'm trying.
All right. I like this. This is the new 2024 Eddie. I like this. My next question, my last question is being the HTB hair extension guru, if you will. What does it entail to become certified to use she extensions? And about how long, second part of that question is about how long would that take?
I think the problem with education is this. So many people, I was talking to a stylist about this on Wednesday. Now that you bring this up, it just reminds me of the stylist on Wednesday I was talking to. So I'm going to give you the same answer I gave her. Because she calls and says, I've been doing hair extensions for years. I've been certified in multiple different brands. I really don't feel, I have tons of equipment of my own. I really don't feel like I need to come in and there's nothing I'm going to learn that I don't already know. And I really don't want to pay for more equipment. I already have tons of equipment. Okay. And then she was saying, I got certified with this brand. I paid $3,000. I got certified with this brand. I paid $4,000. I got certified with this brand. I paid however many thousands of dollars she paid. So she has invested tens of thousands of dollars into education and now has a stockpile of equipment. I get it. I do. So this is what I responded to her was, for every new thing that you learn, for everything that you buy, there's an equipment that comes along with it. If you go to IKEA and you buy a furniture, they give you an Allen ring. You probably have a billion Allen rings, Allen keys.
Yeah.
But they made that specific Allen key for that specific thing that you got to build. You may have one that's the same exact size. You may have one that's identical, but that is the one that they built for that. Why? Because material changes over time. Technology changes over time. You may have a cast iron key from 10 years ago, from a year ago, from 5 years ago. Well, now everything's made out of aluminum. So if you go to turn that bolt, you're going to strip it because your thing was too strong for the new material that everything's made out of. Keratin hair extensions, the technology improves year over year. The bonds are thinner than they've ever been. They're more comfortable than they've ever been. We don't teach to roll it and fuse it into the hair anymore. We wrap it around the hair shaft.
Right.
Even the application technique has improved over the years. Everything has improved. We don't even melt the bond anymore. We don't even use high heat anymore. The equipment is operating at such a lower heat. So everything changes, everything improves. What you have from before, will it still work? It will. But is that going to give you the best, the best result? No. So you should upgrade your equipment. You should upgrade your technique. You should upgrade your technology. And if you've been doing it for a long time, I'll bet you a milkshake and cookies, my two favorite things in the world. I'll bet you a month's supply of milkshake and cookies. You've picked up some bad habits, or you have forgotten something,
Right.
or you remembered something, or you knew something, but you've been overlooking something. I love when somebody calls me for technical support and they say, I've been doing extensions for years. My client's been doing hair extensions for years. We ran into an issue. Well, if you've been doing it for years and your client's been wearing it for years, then why am I on the phone trying to help you discover what went wrong? If you are such an expert and your client is, and I don't mean this as I don't mean this as a negative thing, right?
No, we all do it. We all do
it, dude. I call you for advice sometimes. You call me for advice sometimes.
Right.
And we're the freaking educators.
Right.
Everybody makes a mistake, or everybody forgets the most simplest thing. Education is important. It's going to bring you up to today. Okay? Even what you knew yesterday is old. Today is a new day. And all the studying, all the development, all the research, all the practice that you and I do for the class coming up next month, we put that work in. So when we're in front of people, when we're in front of hairdressers, when they're sitting there, you and I are as prepared as possible to field any left field question and dear God, do we get some left field freaking questions? We take those questions in stride as if, like, even in the back of our minds, if we don't have the answer just yet, we start talking it out, And everyone's like, man, these guys are like, oh, you're a guru. I'm not a guru. I don't have all the answers, but what I do have is the experience, and I have the insight on how to be calm, stay collected, and talk it through to help guide that person to the answer and to the solution that they're looking for. So do you need to get certified? No. You could, you could figure it out yourself. You could do it yourself. Should you get certified? Absolutely. If you want to be, it depends how much you care. If you truly, truly care, then if you look back and you say, I've invested tens of thousands of dollars in my education, then what's another couple grand?
Right.
If you have tons of equipment, a collection of equipment, that means you have been in this game for a while. And you should see, just based on your own equipment, the progression of how things have changed over the years. You should be oh so happy to get the shiny new toy again. You should.
Right.
Again, do you have to? No. Can you figure it out yourself? Sure. Can you YouTube the freaking thing and trial and error and teach yourself too? Probably. But with education and with certification, what that's going to give you access to that anywhere else is not going to give you access to is to a proven system with an application technique, a placement pattern, troubleshooting, technical support, and a relationship with a distributor and a manufacturer with a brand that has been around for decades. They didn't just pop up in the past couple of years. They have been doing this when hair extensions were not popular. They were doing this when hair extensions was the best kept secret. And they've been still doing this while hair extensions are in there. I think right now, hair extensions is in its prime of popularity. I think this past 2 decades has been the best time that hair extensions is ever going to get. It's an open conversation. It's an open book. Nobody is secretly whispering about it. Everybody's openly talking about it. and it is actively sought after. I think right now hair extensions is in its prime of popularity. So
I
with
agree.
so many options out there, so many brands choices out there, and so many techniques out there, I think getting certified is more important than it's ever been. So that's how I'll answer your question.
I that was you went a lot deeper than I thought you were gonna with that question. That was awesome.
Because that was my rant. That was the rant. I got into the rant.
Well, I think I no, because I think it was very it's amazing to see how passionate you are about this subject, and for to get that kind of passion out of you and be able to share that with everybody that's going to see this. I think that says a lot. That really does. Which segues me into our next little subject. Oh, by the way, if you do want to be certified in she hair extensions, who do we contact?
htbbeauty.com. Go to the classes page or contact our office 847-741-5000.
So on that note of what we were just talking about, I'm going to put a challenge out there to everybody who's watching this and everybody who will watch this. Is I think personally, education is one of the most important aspects of our careers. And every state, every wherever you're licensed through has X amount of hours every 2 years.
Okay.
Right?
Not every state, but a lot of states, a lot of states have continuing education requirements. Not every state does, but most do.
Stand corrected. So for us here in Illinois, it's 14 hours every 2 years of continuing ed. Yeah. Okay. And I want to put a challenge out there because I think that we all get so tunnel vision with I need my 14 hours. I need my 14 hours. And then a lot of people run around like a chicken with their head cut off come, when you get close to the time of renewal time. And I'm going to put a challenge out there to everyone to, if you break this up, you're going to do, if you're an Illinois hairdresser, I'm just using that as an example, 7 hours and 7 hours, 7 hours 1 year, 7 hours next year. How about you take that up to 9 hours each year and actually give yourself 2 extra continuing education hours a year? Dive into something that maybe you've never thought of. That I'll never do hair extensions, but why not learn about it? Because you're going to get people in your chair that have extensions in their hair, correct? Or I know people that are scared to death of hair. I know people that are scared to death of hair color. They're like, oh, no. I just cut and take a couple color classes. You don't know. Why limit yourself to just those 14 hours? Ed, that's the best part about what we do. I mean, this industry, we've got, you can never stop learning. There's always something new to learn. I mean, as we well know, the smoothing systems are all going to go through a revamp. Get yourself to those classes with these revamped smoothing systems. So you're on the cutting edge. And you know what? You're never too old to learn something. I don't believe in you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I mean, go take the art of the blow dry class from Ergo. That changed the way I looked at things. I thought I knew how to blow dry till I took that class. There's so much that we could learn. So I'm challenging anybody who watches this, just do 2 extra hours a year. Take 2 extra classes a year to further your education and take your profession that much, just the next step up. I mean, it gets boring just standing behind the chair doing a lob all day long and blow drying it. You know what I'm saying? That's my motivation. Now, real quick, because we just have a couple minutes left here. What do we got education coming up, my friend, besides America's Beauty Show?
Oh man, I should be more prepared. You hit me with this every week. Um, we've got low density hair cutting on Monday. We got the 15-minute blow dry. We got hair extensions on Tuesday the 13th. Then the following week, we've got smoothing. Actually, the following week on the 19th, we've got smoothing. And then on the 26th, we've got a hands-on smoothing workshop. So depending on, which way you want to go with it, you were just actually talking about smoothing. Tuesday the 13th, we're doing keratin bonds. Coincidentally, that we're talking about keratin bonds. And then the 20th, we're doing beaded hair extensions. So I do teach, both techniques.
Yep.
So that's and then the 27th, the end of the month is hair color. We're going to be teaching a toning class. Awesome. So again, all of that's listed on our class page on our website, htbbeauty.com.
Perfect. Yeah. Anybody watching this, please smash the like button once, Eddie. Sooner or later, we're going to retire that joke. But smash the like button. Leave comments. Give us some tips on what you want to hear us go on about. There's a lot of knowledge between the two of us. I know in the future we're going to be having people on here with us who have a whole lot more knowledge than the both of us. I thank you, my friend, for being here every week with me, and go to HTB Beauty if you're looking for education, top of the line products, and we will catch you guys next week.